Hello, students. Today I will discuss about larval multiplication. What is larval multiplication? Sometimes the larvae mature and fertilize, and they do not transform into adult. The process by which some organisms are follow the stages eggs, nymphs and adult, eggs, larva, pupa and adult. But sometimes the larva mature and fertilize and they do not transform into adult. They do not transform into this process is called larval multiplication. This happens in three ways. Three methods are allowed for the formation of larval multiplication. And the other, I can explain in the other sentence. A larva is a distinct javelin forms. Many animals undergo before metamorphosis into adult. In the other words, animals which with indirect development such as insect, amphibian, cnidarians typically have a larval phase of their life cycle. And see in the next sentence, the complete metamorphosis occurs through four stages: egg, then larva, then pupa, and then become adult. And the incomplete metamorphosis occurs through the three stages: egg, nymph, and adult. The pupa stage is not developed during incomplete metamorphosis. This is the process, this is the methods by which some animals such as insects, amphibian and cnidaria are developed in a mature. Now the larval multiplication way happen in three way. The neoteny, the first way. Neoteny refers to retention of a larval or embryonic tract in the adult body. It is failure or delay of larva to metamorphosis while becoming sexually mature. Neoteny is a characteristic of some amphibian. Neoteny is a process by which the larva going to going to mature and to give the maturity and give the eggs and then born new larva. Now neoteny is a condition. In the other words, you can understand, neoteny is the condition in which an organism reaches maturity without losing all its yielding characteristics. Typical examples which includes becoming sexually viable while still in a larva stage are retention of gills in adult. This view can understand by this diagram in which salamanders life cycle shown. This is adult, and adult gives egg mouse laid in water, and then aquatic larva. It going to be without completing its metamorphosis, all the process, it goes into adult. It become adult to fertilize and to born to lay eggs, and this is the neoteny. This is it is neoteny, and you can see the larva which has mature in amphibians. In some amphibians, larva becomes sexually without metamorphosis, delay metamorphosis, in which amphibian the character neoteny is shown, and the failure delay of larva metamorphosis while becoming sexually mature. This is the characters of neoteny, which before going to adult, larva become mature to fertilize or to lay eggs. Next examples can see exalt larva of Ampiostoma tiger salamander, in which it is some characteristics are see. It is the best example exaltal larva in aquatic consisting of gills. The larva develops gonads, lay egg, attain large size. On the other hand, the Ampiostoma is a terrestrial and does not possess gills. In beginning, the exaltal larva was considered as separate genera. Exaltal larva lost its gills and develops lungs while the thyroxine is administered. It metamorphosed into an adult. And the next characters, the metamorphosis of exaltal larva can be induced by the reducing the water level. It metamorphosis can be reduced by reducing the water level, because this animal live in water. And next one is podogenesis. In this method, the larva lay eggs which develops into new larvae by pathogenesis, such as insect. So, such example are found in insects life cycle. Genesis. I think this graphic, let us see this graphic, and I try my best to understand you by this graphic. Pedogenesis. I know the complete metamorphosis is eggs, then developed, become larva, then become pupa, pupa become adults. This is the complete metamorphosis. And the other way, in the some organism, some animals follow, larva going to become mature and lay eggs, and the eggs that was without fertilization, it become a new larvae, and this process follow the pathogenesis process, parthenogenesis process. Without fertilization, egg goes to developed into new larvae. This is the pedogenesis. And pedogenesis, understand some examples: master, a genus of gull-milled mice, files, or other larval forms, as in the case of some fluke. These are the examples which are follow the pedogenesis process. for the multiplication of larva, and other polyembryony. It was found in mostly in plant. Polyembryony is the phenomena. Polyembryony is the phenomena two or more embryos developing from a single fertilized egg due to the embryos resulting from the same egg, and the embryos are identical to one another but are genetically diverse from the parents. This is the character. And in the other words, polyembryony, a condition in which two or more embryos develop from a single fertilized egg, forming what human is known as identical twin. It was happened in human being. A common phenomena in many plants, animals species, polyembryony occurs regularly in the nine-banded armadillo, which usually give birth to four identical young. A striking example may be found among parasitic insects and other Hymenoptera or Copidosoma. It is a parasite. Certain cutworms lay single egg in the body of the host worm, for which may develop as many as 200 individuals. These are the example and about the polyembryony. Now I want to just give you basic knowledge about the ovule diagram. This is ovule diagram, and ovule structure. This portions, out portion, chalaja, and cover the ovum, egg apparatus, or see the outer integument, inner integuments, and micropyle. This is, and now inside the ovule, this egg apparatus are found here: antipodal, secondary nucleus, embryo sac. This is called embryo sac. Inside the ovules, embryo sac, which have antipodal, secondary nucleus, and synergids. In between synergids, the egg apparatus, egg cell are found, egg nucleus. And when the now you see the polyembryony, how it developed. Polyembryony, this is fertilized embryo sac, zygotic embryo, where is egg fertilized to transform into zygote, and zygotic embryo developed. And next, antipodal cells, you see, antipodal cells. Here is antipodal cells. It is also antipodal cells. It is also developed embryo, and the segments which are developed many embryos. This is entombed, nucellus. Now zygotic means eggs apparatus developed into embryo. Zygotic, egg nucleus fertilized to male gametophyte and forms zygote, and the zygote develop is embryo. Zygotic embryo is called zygotic. Endosperm, inner side of the embryo sac, and nucellar embryo. Nucellar embryo, the layer of the cell covered the embryo sac, that is called nucellar embryo. Integumentary embryo, the integuments, here you can see the outer integument, inner integument, these are also transformed into embryo. This structure is clear that a single ovules may develop in many embryo. So this structure is explain us the polyembryonic concept. That's all.